Do you guys remember Garbage Pail Kids? Welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher.
So let's jump right into it.
We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is going on, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles. I want to thank you guys for joining me for another video. Now today we're talking about something that is near and dear to my heart, something that I collected as a kid and still do to this day. That's right, we're talking about Garbage Pail Kids. I know you guys remember the wacky, crazy cards that came out in the early 1980s. And if you don't know, sit back and relax because I'm going to teach you some stuff here today about these awesome cards. But before we get started, like always guys, in this video I'm going to ask you, if you're not a current subscriber of the channel, do me a favor, go ahead and click that subscribe button for me. I want you to smash that like button because we get this video out over 200 likes. I'm going to give you something out of my personal collection away. I'm also doing a 4,000 sub subscriber giveaway. Once we hit 4K, this is what I'm giving away. I told you guys from here on out, I'm going to be giving something out of my personal collection away every 1,000 subscribers from here on out. And we're just about almost at 4,000. I think we're about 600 and change away. Guess what, guys? This is the 4,000 sub giveaway. It is this awesome 1/10 scale Thanos diorama from Infinity War. I want to tell you, this thing is freaking awesome. It is nearly perfect for a Thanos statue. So do me a favor, go ahead, click that subscribe button for me, smash that like button, and let's give this sucker away as soon as possible. With that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about the Garbage Pail Kids' history. Of course, they were a parody of Cabbage Patch dolls, which came out in the early 1980s. But the Garbage Pail Kids themselves were founded by Topps in 1984. Each series had a total of 44 cards, which included an A card and a B card of each Garbage Pail Kids, giving each series a total of 88 cards. Now, you could have bought a pack way back in the 1980s for 25 cents with a stick of gum that came with 5 Garbage Pail Kids cards. They were so popular, they actually released 6 series within the first 4 years. That until Topps was sued in 1986 and was forced to alter the appearance of the Garbage Pail Kids away from resembling the Cabbage Patch dolls. Not even that, they also had to change their logo. But believe it or not, in August 21st of 1987, they actually had their own Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Meet the Garbage Pail Kids. Starring Nat Nerd, Windy Winston.
Of course, it was a huge flop, but still to this day has a minor cult following, including yours truly. I absolutely thought this movie was ridiculous, but it was fun to see these things on the screen. Of course, the series was canceled in December of 1988 and lasted for 15 series. Now, the 16th series was actually in production when the line got canceled, and would actually go on to be released in 2003 when the Garbage Pail Kids returned with some of the same original art from the 1980s. Now, I was at New York Comic Con this year, and Topps and the Garbage Pail Kids had a massive presence there. Now, I did a few videos. If you haven't checked those out, I will leave links at the end of this video of all the cool stuff that I was able to see relating to the Garbage Pail Kids. I was actually able to pick up a limited edition set that was only there at the con this year, as you guys can see. But every year since 2003, except for I think a few years, they actually release a new series each year that you could purchase that is actually limited edition. So if you didn't know that and you're into Garbage Pail Kids, they're still out there, guys. Now, my collection, I'm going to show you, I actually purchased off of eBay maybe about 5 to 6 years ago. And believe it or not, I only paid $500 for a complete set, 1 through 10 series. Now, I had these things spread out all over my youth. I'm talking about, I would take the stickers out and put them on my notebooks. I would take cards and trade them with my friends, of course. But so I lost a lot of my cards from my childhood. But when I was able to purchase complete sets for such a little amount of money, I knew what they were going to be worth someday. Now, I'm thinking about getting some of these cards graded. At least that's what they told me at the show, that I should at least grade the first series because most of those are really worth a ton of money in high grade. So let's go ahead and check these cards out. Of course, most people, when they think of Garbage Pail Kids, they think of grotesque. They think of all the messed up stuff that they see on these cards. But the first thing I notice are the wacky names, right? Dead Ted and his counterpart Jay Decay. I think that's just hysterical. It was such a new thing that came out in the 1980s. I mean, we were unprepared for it back then, but they really went overboard with some of the stuff. Slobby, Robbie, and of course I think his counterpart was Fat Matt. So I mean, some of them are actually really funny. I remember as a kid I would try to find one with my name on it. Of course, fortunately it never happened, but some of the people out there got like multiples, like Smelly Kelly. There were a few other Kellys out there, right? Leaky Lindsay, and of course her counterpart Messy Tessie was one of my favorites. Double Heather was an interesting one because she had 3 cards. She had Double Heather, Schizo Fran, and there was actually a misprint. I think it was actually Fran. I actually have that card as well tucked in there in the back, but that's the only one I thought of that actually came with 3 cards, not just 2, but I think they screwed up on the printing of that card. But don't hold me to that because I don't know. But some of the ones from the early series were absolutely phenomenal. Mona Loser, Ghastly Ashley, Wrinkled Rita. I mean, they were just ahead of their time, just making fun of Garbage Pail Kids. I don't know if you guys know the story behind the whole thing, but what happened was that Topps at the time wanted to go ahead and do cards for Cabbage Patch dolls to go along with the dolls themselves, and they didn't really think, the people who ran the Cabbage Patch dolls, I believe it was Coleco at the time, that they actually needed cards. They thought it was too trivial. They didn't think it went along well with the doll itself. So Topps got annoyed and said, hey, you know what? Let's make fun of them. Let's take these dolls and turn them into like these sloppy, grotesque beings, and they put them on trading cards. Of course, there were stickers as well, but what they did actually to me was better than Cabbage Patch dolls. Of course, as a male myself, I never collected Cabbage Patch dolls, but these things, they just sang right to my heart as like a 6-7-year-old kid, man. This is everything that you want from being that young of a kid. I mean, Large Marge, Dwight Bright, Ashley Can was another favorite of mine. Horny Hal. Of course, I probably didn't get that one when I was young. I didn't understand the meaning behind some of these. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but Harry Harriet, Turned On Tara, Amazing Grace. Some of them you get, right? There's some of the parodies of songs. Some of them are parodies of people. Melton, Elton, Caddy, Kathy. They were just ahead of their time with some of the names, and of course the artwork that went along with it was probably right up a 7-year-old's alley. Now, some of these, like I said, appeared in the movie that was done in 1987. I remember Wendy Winston was in the movie, Greaser Greg, Messy Tessie, Alligator. I think Nat Nerd was in it. I really wish they would use some of the ones that were more grotesque, but they were probably pushing the envelope for the 1980s regardless, so they probably couldn't use some of these things. But it was great to see some of the early characters in an actual movie, even though the movie was terrible. In my opinion, around the 4th or 5th series is where the Garbage Pail Kids started to decline. The grotesqueness wasn't as vast as it was early in the series. The naming of the characters wasn't as good, in my opinion. But like I said, some of them here or there would be great hits. Some of them would be misses. But I think the it factor that the first few series had makes them so popular. You could go up and look at the values of these things. They're absolutely crazy priced in high grade the first couple of series. After that, they really, really tail off in value. What a blast from the past, right, guys? I still remember going into my local card shop, my local smoke shop, anywhere where they sold cards, I was there, and I actually picking these packs up for 25 cents a pop. What I would do is I would take a $5 bill, and you can buy a whole box, believe it or not, and that's exactly what I would do. But of course, like any 7-year-old, I would go take off the stickers, peel them, put them anywhere, trade these cards with my friends for ones that I didn't have. Just doing things that any 7-year-old would do. And that's, of course, as a 45-year-old man, I sit here today and I try to do the same thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.